12:44 Central African Time, and we're coming to you live from Johannesburg in South Africa. Our lawyers say the United States deported another group of third country nationals to Cameroon just days after reports revealed that 9 migrants with no ties to the country were recently sent there last month under the Trump administration. 8 non-Cameroonian migrants arrived in Yaounde on the latest flight. Our Cameroon-based lawyer, Joseph Awah Fru, is assisting some of the earlier deportees, and he now joins us on the line. Joseph, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Good afternoon, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to throw light on the situation. Thank you.
Joseph, thank you for joining us. Now, what legal protections exist in Cameroon for third country nationals deported there?
We should view this in the context of the 1951 Refugee Convention and its 1967 protocol, which of course opened these people are considered refugees and stateless persons. So the relief that is open, within the convention is open to these people as well.
And what steps are you taking to assist the new group of deportees?
So the first step is to be able to establish a connection between IOM, that is the International Organization for Migration, and then the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, both who squarely have the mandate and are the guardians and custodians of the Refugee Conventions and its protocol, and then liaising them with the government authorities who physically have these people and who have the conventional obligations to be able to provide the services that these people need. So one is coordinating between the UN agencies and the country that is hosting them, Cameroon.
And what legal avenues exist if the deportees' home countries would request their return?
It's a little tricky there, the way you put the question. The home country cannot request their return, because if they did, they would have done that in the first place before they left the United States. You see, the main thing to understand here is that by the United States deporting these people to a third country meant that the United States was conscious of its convention, of its legal obligations within the context of international law and its own laws, not to deport people who are fleeing persecution in their home countries. So, for the fact that these people were deported to a third country means that they had established by clear and convincing evidence, evidentiary standards, that they could not be returned to the country from which they came from.
And how are these deportees coping with their arrival in Cameroon, and what support services are available to them?
Well, I'll take the second part first. The support services that are available to them are very clear within the mandate that the United Nations High Commission for Refugees has vis-a-vis this people. But what is open to them physically now is what I as the attorney, we as the group of legal practitioners helping them, is trying to make sure that the United Nations High Commission for Refugees and the International Organization for Migration, as agents of the United Nations, fulfill their obligations within their mandates. So for now, they are housed somewhere in a protective environment. They don't have their liberties. Their activities of daily living are very restricted. But for full disclosure, from what they said, their feeding conditions are not bad, but their liberty, their freedoms are greatly restricted.
And now I can't speak to you and just not finding out what's happening with the other group that you have been assisting. Can you give us an update on what's happening there?
The first group that came in, I just had a meeting with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, the resident, the officers here in the resident office, and they indicated to me that before I entered my appearance to represent them, they had spoken to them and indicated that they were open to applying for asylum. I have advised them of those rights. They are open to asylum and all the rights that are attendant to refugees and stateless persons under international law, especially the 1951 Convention and its 1967 Protocol. But that said, I think what is very important, Lulu, to understand here is that these people were granted some kind of status in the United States, especially withholding of removal, either under American law, Section 241, and its subsections, and under Article 3 of the Convention Against Torture, which means that they cannot voluntarily go back to the countries from where they are fleeing persecution. Here now in Cameroon, having accepted that they be deported to Cameroon, has automatically availed itself of the obligation of taking this, accepting these people as refugees. So I would think that their refugee status or their protective statuses in the United States will be grandfathered here in Cameroon, and Cameroon should be able to honor those obligations within the context of international law.
Well, Joseph, we have run out of time, but thank you so much for making time for us on Africa Update.
Thank you so very much.
That's Cameroon-based lawyer Joseph Awah Fru joining us on the line. It is 12:51 Central African time.
Channel Africa is moving with the times, and so is our WhatsApp.